The sale of alcohol is a serious business. While most people drink responsibly, it is the job of the West Virginia Alcohol Beverage Control Administration, WVABCA, to ensure that those who purchase and consume alcohol have the legal right to do so. You are a key player in this practice. So we created this video to empower you with a better understanding of the carding process. We will explain the various forms of identification you may encounter, highlight a new carding poster that will be useful to you when you card customers, and showcase mock scenarios of interactions you may encounter with your customers and highlight best practices. Let's get started. Part 1, Learning the Licenses. It is important you are prepared for the variety of licenses that you may encounter. The West Virginia DMV and the WVABCA have used a variety of license styles to automatically provide quick cues for those who card alcohol buyers. The most noticeable among these styles is the vertical license. Starting in the early 2000s, the DMV printed the license for people under 21 vertically to instantly catch the attention of anyone asking for their license. As with all West Virginia licenses, the vertical style comes in 3 phases that will require different scrutiny from you. The first style preceded the year 2020, and they feature either a red or blue background, as shown here. While you may encounter these, they are no longer an acceptable form of ID, as they were discontinued prior to 2020. While maintaining the vertical positioning, the DMV changed the appearance of subsequent licenses. The second style was issued from 2020 to 2023, and the red or blue backgrounds were replaced with artistic images. And the third and current phase of vertical license styles started in the spring of 2023. The red and blue colors used in the background of the pre-2020 licenses were used instead for the dates when the individual turned 18 or 21 in the newer license. In both of the later phases, the date the individual turns 18 is highlighted in red, and the date they turn 21 is highlighted in blue. As you can see, this information is directly beneath the holder's birth date and the license expiration date in both latter license issue phases. These licenses also feature a ghosted image of the holder's picture in the lower right corner and their physical description, and their birth date is repeated next to it in the lower left corner. The only actual difference between the 2 latter licenses is the styling of the state name, West Virginia, and the background art, which features the state capitol in the second phase and the New River Gorge Bridge in the third phase. Please notice that some of these licenses have a gold star in the upper right-hand corner. The star indicates that this license is what's called a real ID, and this designation is for federal usage only and doesn't play any role in your carding procedures. As we said before, licenses with colored backgrounds are no longer acceptable as IDs. However, the subsequent phases of licenses are all still active. While these licenses are vertical, the holder could actually be over 21, as the DMV no longer requires drivers to replace the licenses on their 21st birthday. So the license remains valid until its expiration date. So you must remember that when you are presented with a vertical license, you must scrutinize it for both the birth date and expiration date. As a license or state ID holder yourself, you are aware that licenses for people 21 and older are traditionally printed and viewed horizontally. And as with the vertical licenses, West Virginia's horizontal licenses were also issued in the same 3 phases. From the first phase, licenses issued to people over 21 before the year 2020 will look like these. The birth date and the expiration are directly in the center. Also, the background of the pre-2020 phase is a faint photo image of New River Gorge. You may encounter a limited number of these licenses too, but these are still active and they should all reach an expiration date by 2026. These are examples of the second phase licenses which were issued to people over 21 in the years between 2020 and 2023. And these are examples of licenses issued to people over 21 in the third phase, the years after mid-2023. All of these licenses, the birth dates are shown twice next to the holder's main picture at left and beneath the ghosted image of that picture in the lower right corner. The expiration date is displayed in the top right. As seen with the vertical licenses, the appearance of the two phases is only different in their artistic backgrounds of the state capitol for Phase 2 and the New River Gorge Bridge for Phase 3. You will also notice the Real ID gold star on some of these licenses in the upper corner, and again, it has no bearing on your carding procedures. While you scrutinize vertical licenses to prevent underage individuals from getting access to alcohol, your mission with inspecting horizontal licenses is to verify the license is actually that of the person presenting it. We will get into detail about that later, but first, we'll explain how to properly accept the license. Part 2, taking possession of the ID. If you sell or serve alcohol, chances are that it has been necessary for you to refuse the sale. We're going to provide you with some helpful carding steps to which you may be familiar. First, have the customer remove their ID from their purse or wallet. Never take possession of their wallet or purse. Second, have the customer hand you their ID. Physically holding the license allows you to examine the front and back better and feel for any anomalies. Third, check the birth date and expiration date and see if those dates are also located elsewhere on the ID and if the dates match. We recommend that you pay very close attention to this process. It is not uncommon for an underage customer to put a fake ID on top of their own ID. If you should encounter this, we recommend that you ask for that ID as well. The next step is to make a physical comparison of the picture on the ID with the person who gave it to you. We suggest that you look at the shape of their face. Is it rounded, square, or elongated? Pick out one specific part of the face to compare, such as the shape of their eyes, but consider that eye color can change with contacts. If it is a side profile picture, the shape of their ears or nose could also be helpful for comparison. Note that hair color can change, but the hairline may also be helpful to look at as well. Now, feel the ID and ask yourself these kinds of questions. Is it smooth? Does it have cracks, cuts, or frayed corners? Do you see the holograms? Does the font look consistent? Next, look at the back of the ID. Ensure that it looks legitimate and doesn't contain verbiage such as novelty product or ID is not intended for official government use. If, after all this scrutiny, you still feel uneasy about this customer, ask questions such as, what is their zodiac sign? You won't need to know the signs and dates. What you're looking for is any hesitation or confusion in their answer. You may also ask the year they graduated from high school. Finally, if in doubt, ask for a second form of ID, such as a credit card or hunting and fishing license. It may also be your company policy to involve a manager for approval. So, if the customer has not passed these carding steps, don't make the sale. Part 3, underage warning signs. Underage customers who are trying to buy alcohol behave differently than someone of legal age. Ask yourself, is the customer avoiding eye contact or wearing sunglasses? Do they seem nervous, anxious, or uncomfortable? Additional underage techniques may be to say, I've already been carded at the door, or I know the manager or owner. They may also say that they forgot their ID or present you with an illegal form of ID. You should be aware of where the alcohol is going and being consumed on your licensed floor plan. Use your best judgment and always err on the side of caution. If you work in a bar, restaurant, or some type of location that permits on-premise consumption, you need to watch out for multiple drink orders. One example might be a customer purchasing a pitcher of beer and requesting 2 or more glasses. You need to have an ID for each of those glasses. It is your responsibility to prevent someone of legal age from giving alcohol to someone under 21. If you work in an off-premise location, such as a grocery store or carryout, you should be on the lookout for customers handing off money either outside or in an aisle. If your customer conducts multiple transactions and requests separate bags, this may be an indicator they are purchasing alcohol for an underage person. Any and all of these items we just mentioned are grounds to refuse the sale. Part 4. Other forms of ID. We would now like to show you several forms of legal identification you may accept. These include state-issued IDs, which typically are issued to a non-driver, out-of-state driver's license or ID, a passport, a military ID, and an alien registration card, also referred to as a green card. You will still need to scrutinize these forms to assure the holder is 21 or over, but these are examples as acceptable forms of ID. Temporary license receipt. When a citizen of West Virginia applies for a driver's license, renews their driver's license, or gets a replacement for a lost or stolen ID, they receive a temporary receipt. This type of license can either be processed at the DMV office or you can apply online. These licenses will be mailed to you and are valid for 60 days. On the receipt, here is a picture of the person. Note the picture of the hologram. Here is their birthday. Here is the expiration date. Since this is a paper ID, it is very important you carefully examine it. You will not be able to scan the ID since it has no barcode or magnetic code. Be on the lookout for smears, smudges, and eraser marks, handwriting or a font of a different size or style, and other anomalies such as the hologram picture not matching the actual picture. One suggestion is to ask the customer for a second form of ID and compare it to the name and any other information that may be present on both IDs, like an address, for example. Unacceptable IDs. Next, let's talk about unacceptable IDs that are often used in an attempt to obtain alcohol illegally. They are Social Security cards, student IDs, non-governmental IDs such as a retail card or gym membership, birth certificates, and prison IDs. If you are presented only with any of these, you cannot sell the customer alcohol. Finally, let's discuss electronic IDs. It is becoming more common to encounter mobile IDs. In West Virginia and other states, the DMV offices are providing citizens with the ability to have their driver's license stored on their personal cell phone. Citizens of West Virginia who have this mobile ID must first obtain the traditional handheld ID. Presently, a WVABCA licensed establishment may only accept the handheld ID and not the mobile ID. This new technology is evolving, and as such, we strongly recommend WVABCA licensees visit WVABCA website at www.abca.wv.gov for updates. You may also visit West Virginia Department of Motor Vehicles at transportation.wv.gov concerning driver's license information. The WVABCA carding poster. Now that we've shown you the many licenses and timeframes in which they were issued, you might think you'll never be able to remember all this information. But don't worry. The West Virginia ABCA has designed and recently released carding posters for your workplace. You will see them every day and eventually memorize them from habit. If you ever have any questions, the poster will be there in place for you to use as a reference. The poster is also available online at www.abca.wv.gov, or you may call the WVABCA at 304-356-5500. Let's take a few minutes to discuss how to use the poster. As you can see, the top of the poster is a reminder of the vertical licenses with the color coding that we previously discussed. Here you see the same vertical licenses we showed you earlier and all the same cues you would be using in carding. The remainder of the poster provides 3 sections that list the things we just taught you. Taking possession and scrutinizing the ID, examining IDs for their physical integrity, listing the only acceptable forms of ID, and what to look for in a person who may be presenting a fake ID. Now that we've shown you the various forms of IDs, both acceptable and unacceptable, and the carding poster that we provided you, it is time to put this knowledge into practice. We're going to show you a series of scenarios depicting some customers' interactions you may encounter. Part 5, Sample Scenarios. On-site alcohol sales.
Are you ready to order?
Yes, I believe we're ready.
Can I have the house salad, please?
Okay, and for you, sir?
I'll have the spaghetti. Does that come with bread?
Yes, and I'll bring plenty for both of you.
Can we also get a bottle of Allegheny red wine, please?
Of course, may I see both your IDs?
Of course.
The waitstaff asked the diners for their IDs. Using the WVABCA ID poster, they carefully reviewed all the information and visual identifiers on both sides of the ID to determine that the patrons could legally purchase and consume the wine.
I'll put your order in and I'll bring that out.
That was really good.
Can I get you guys anything else? Dessert, perhaps?
No, I think we're good. Just the bill.
And could you recork the wine for us so we can take it with us?
Certainly.
Private club license types and private wine restaurants that have applied for the recorking service and submitted a sealable bag that has been approved by the WVABCA may recork and reseal wine to be taken by the patron that is of legal age to consume. The patrons must have consumed food with their wine. The wine must be placed in the sealed bag with the receipt attached.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. I stopped in for a cheeseburger and some fries.
Good deal. Did you have your ID?
Hey, I'm just trying to get some food and soda. I'm not trying to buy beer or anything.
I know. I still gotta check your ID. Thank you.
The bartender used the WVABCA ID poster. They carefully reviewed all the information and visual identifiers to determine that the patron was under the age of 21.
So you're not 21, and where you're not 21, you can't sit at the bar. Hey, Candace, would you care to sit him in the restaurant area? Thank you.
Sure. Please come with me, sir. We'll sit at your table.
Sorry about that. Have a good one, though.
An underage person that is not accompanied by a parent or legal guardian may not sit at the bar in a private club restaurant under state law. They may be seated in the restaurant area as long as they are making a lawful purchase.
Hi, have you decided?
Yes, I'll have the house salad and a strawberry daiquiri.
May I see your ID, please?
Sure.
Thank you. There's that. And I'll be right back with your food and your drink.
The waitstaff used the WVABCA ID poster from memory and carefully reviewed all the information and visual identifiers to determine that the patron was of legal age to consume alcoholic liquor.
Could I get you anything else?
Yes, I'll take a strawberry daiquiri growler to go.
I'm sorry, I can't sell you a growler because you've already consumed alcohol on the premises. Could I get you any food?
No thanks.
Okay.
A patron can order a craft cocktail growler when a meal has been consumed, if they have not consumed beer, wine, or alcoholic liquors with their meal.
simple.
What's up, guys? Can I get you any food or anything?
Yeah, let me get 2 cold countries.
All right, I just need to check both your IDs, please.
Sure.
Thank you.
Ma'am, I need to see yours too, please.
No, it's okay. She's my daughter. I'm paying for both beers. I take full responsibility.
That's all right, I guess.
All right, thanks. Now, right here.
Here you go, guys.
Thank you.
Of course. That'd be $8.
Keep the change.
Thank you.
The waitstaff did not check both patrons' IDs, and this was a serious mistake. The male patron purchased the beer on the licensed premises for the young woman who is possibly underage, potentially violating state law. If caught, the establishment would be cited by the WVABCA and would face administrative sanctions, such as a monetary fine or a possible suspension of the establishment's license. The waitstaff, the male patron, and the underage young woman would face criminal penalties for violating state code. So, now you're ready to go back out there and make a difference. What we've just detailed aren't just good ideas, but they're the law. As part of the alcohol sales force, you are expected to carry out these laws for the protection of your community, as well as the businesses for which you work. Remember, only you can stop underage drinking. Thank you for watching.